Aloha Family, and welcome to the Felixes. We apologize for the wind if you can't hear us properly. So today is Magnificent Mental Monday. It's a beautiful day. So um, I was sounding like a broken record, but when when we lost everything, and my mind was stricken by darkness and depression and the truly rough times. I apologize. The sun is in my eye, so I'm not winking at you. I am, yeah. So after my journey back to the beautiful motherland on my mind, of course, after Mrs. Felix helped me out. Um, After that journey, it was like life was brighter. Life was just it was beautiful. It was like I found my purpose. My purpose was clear after I that journey to the beautiful motherland of my mind, um, and that purpose was helping folks in that were in the same situation I was, um, and I it's a year of our lives to that purpose is truly magnificent. So today, Magnificent Mental Monday. I'm gonna say that a few times just because it sounds awesome. And here is why it's Magnificent Mental Monday. Behind us, that is Mauna Kea. So Mauna Kea is 10,200 meters tall. That is correct. I said 33,500 feet tall from the base of the bottom of the ocean all the way to the top. So it makes it the most, the largest, the tallest mountain mass in the world. And folks, um, not to sound kind of cheesy or anything like that, but that is your mind. Your mind is so powerful. It's that large. How beautiful and big your mind is. It's the mind is just something so beautiful. Give me 1 second. Felix, come boy, come. Sorry, he's exploring the unknown, and I don't want him to hurt himself. Um, all right. So sorry for the uncut. The Here we go. So you might be asking yourselves, what does what does uh what does this Eminem Monday, mental, massive, magnificent Monday? Well, folks, that mountain is pretty much your mind, and the message from me, like it was. I know it's tough, especially now. Um, it's really tough for a lot of people, and our hearts go to everyone, and that's the reason we're doing this. Um, I've personally been through the worst in my mind. I experienced it firsthand. The depression, the just, and Mrs. Felix. This is what she's been studying her entire pretty much 8 years. That's a long time. Her studying that. But think about this for a moment. I think about I just said, like, this is your mind. Your mind is as tall and big as the biggest mountain mass in the world. So scientists have tried to define the mind as the product of brain activity, and there is growing evidence that shows that the mind goes far beyond the physical workings of your brain. And that goes back to like what we talked about yesterday about Mr. Carnegie's about his quote, is that it's your mind that makes your body rich. And Michelle, she's gonna discuss this a little bit more, because she's a professional and better at it than I am. But also think about this for a moment, that you might weigh anywhere from 10 pounds to 1,000 pounds in body weight, and your mind weighs exactly roughly around 3 pounds. So brain weighs around 3 pounds. And think about that, from the mass of your body to the mass of what your brain is. It's like your brain is working all day long. It's making you walk steady. It's making you think about what's next, the plan. It's constantly working. And it's just so beautiful how the mind is just, it's so powerful. It's so powerful. You're powerful. Your mind is as big as that bad boy right behind me, the largest mountain mass in the world, beautiful Mauna Kea. Um, but yeah, all day long, your mind is just solving problems, helping people, motor functions. I'm just in awe of how awesome your mind is. It's pretty amazing. So, well, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, very true. Mind is very powerful indeed.
And sorry, Michelle got the sniffles because it's cold out here. I think
Yeah,
we're
a little bit too cold for me.
10,000 feet. We're on top of Mauna Loa. Not on the top, but Mauna Loa is Mauna Kea's sister. And that's where we're at right now. So we're in Mauna Loa looking at Mauna Kea. And it's a little bit chilly, so we excuse the interruptions of baby Felix doing his scavenging and the little sniffles in the wind. So, before you start, I'd like to one last thing, and I know it's difficult for a lot of you folks. We're in the season. We're in a season of like we're losing loved ones. We're losing friends, not just to COVID, but to violence and our friends taking their own lives, and it's people losing their home, people losing money and losing businesses, and I am it just it makes it's almost impossible for someone like not lose their sanity, and it's the process. It's rough. So, but I am here to tell you, as the man that has walked that path of mental depression and just really really bad thoughts and really bad things, that your mind has the power of infinity if you think it.
Very true. Absolutely true. So, I would like to start off on just the basics. And my first goal for this topic is to change your perspective towards physical health and mental health. As we know, there's a clear distinction between the mind and the body. You go to a medical doctor for your physical health, and you would go to a therapist for your emotional health. And in many ways, because of this division, people look at the physical health and the mental health as two separate components. And I'm here to help you understand that these two components actually work together. And the first goal is to change your mindset on how you see your physical health and your mental health. You need to understand that coming together makes us whole. Good physical health, good mental health makes us whole, makes us one. And I want to emphasize the importance of acknowledging that, and that remembering that both your physical health and your mental health are equally important and should be taken care of equally. It doesn't in society and just in the world that we're living in, we seem to focus more on the physical. And maybe because it's measurable, maybe because I could look at Felix and I could say that he looks good, and we automatically assume that he's okay. But we could not know how he's feeling inside. He could be having the worst morning. And so we are so used to just seeing things for what it is. And that's why I think mental health has always been something that we don't talk about that much, or we don't care to examine or focus on. because we look at what we can see. And a clear example of how your mental health can affect your physical health is emotional regulation. Emotional regulation basically acts to modify the filters that are important pieces of information. By saying so, having emotional regulation, it motivates us to pay attention to things that matter and things that are important. And by doing that, we would not focus on the negativity which could provoke stress and fear and things like that. So research have found that people with lower levels of anxiety and depression have higher rates of emotional regulation, and people who have poor emotional regulation fall prey to the mercy of their emotions. And so when we look at it, if you compare both, a well-regulated person will have a better balance and better judgment in his or her actions and feelings towards that moment. So being emotional regulated helps us to perform better in our day-to-day life. A typical example is when we are emotionally regulated, when we go into the real world, into the real life, and we are faced with the most simplest challenges. We can handle that challenge in various ways. But when we are emotionally regulated, we have more control over the situation. We are able to think better, be able to make a more informed decision. And because when you're not, that's when anxiety may come in, stress may come in, and it affects your thinking abilities. So I'm trying to show you how your emotional state of mind can affect your physical, because at the end of the day, what you put in will come out. And there's a clear connection between the two, and I think that it's very important that we realize that we need to take care of our emotional health so that our physical being can perform effectively and we can handle situations better. There's no the truth behind it is that unforeseen circumstances, it's different when you are faced in a situation where you have no experience in, or it just happened at a strange point, or rationally, then you will be faced with emotions that may bring you down. But in day-to-day life, being emotionally regulated can help us perform better in the real world. um, Another thing that I've noticed is that um, we're living in a world where everything that is seen on the outside, as I mentioned, is more important. Yet we fail to remember that the things that are intangible, that are actually more important, and actually what makes us whole. Things like love and loyalty, good mental health, emotional regulation. These are things that we can't physically touch. Yet these are the things that help us to be better individuals. These are the things that help us perform better. And these are things that matter the most, because when you think about it, you could go a day without your car, but I know I could not go a day without him, and vice versa. You may not be able to go a day without your mom or your children, or so yeah, the material things, we can find ways to move without it. But relationships, these things keep us whole. Relationships adds so much more meaning to us. And so yeah, I would encourage you to definitely focus on the things that are intangible.
So,
And
so one question. So
yeah.
what if many viewers have lost someone? What if you have lost that person that you engage with, that you have that bond with, and that's the person that you can't live without? How would you deal with that?
Yeah, I would, people deal uh, with loss differently. Some people, losing someone that you love, some people just need time for themselves. Some people just need to be alone. And then the opposite, some people need to reach out for help. In most cases, people that have lost someone, they need to talk about it, and keeping it all inside, and you know, and not acknowledging or confronting or validating your feelings is not going to help you move forward. You need to know that these feelings that you feel are valid, and that it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay. These are normal reactions. That's what make us humans. That's what make us who we are. If we didn't react to certain things, we won't be people. You know, it's these emotions that give us meaning, that give us life. So when you're dealing with the loss, I would always encourage you to talk about it, and just reach out for help, or you know, and or find what brings you comfort. Sometimes I find the greatest comfort by just talking to God. And sometimes I'm not, as my husband will tell you, I'm not someone that talks easily about my feelings, and I'm not someone that, as much as I'm, you know, you would think I would
A
be the
mental
one.
professional.
Yeah, I don't. I be honest with you. I'm the type of person that I don't necessarily like talk about my feelings that much, but I do. I have changed that a lot about me. I do talk about it now, but I sometimes just feel like talking to God is sometimes the best thing that works for me when I'm really sad. So yeah, there's different ways to deal with loss. So it works differently for each person, which I would talk about in my next session when we talk about motivating operations and how, you know, certain things motivate us to do certain things. But yeah, so once again, I would just like to end off by saying, remember that mental health and physical health work together and connected and make us whole, and we should not look at it as separately anymore. We need to see it as one identity. And you know, just remember that there's always help out there, and there's people that care, and there's always ways to reach out, and yeah, there's always support systems out there. And yeah, so I'm gonna just leave it at that.
So, this mental health party is gonna be going for probably like 2 or 3 episodes. We call them episodes. I'm sorry. I'm looking at cliffhanger Felix over here. He's on top of another mountain hill. I don't know how he got up there. So
Incredible. Yep.
Wednesday is gonna be another. It's gonna be mental. Is it mental, or it's gonna be warrior mental Wednesdays, or mental warrior Wednesday. So we're gonna discuss again. It's another episode about mental and physical health, and how we need to be like a warrior up here, and it's gonna be pretty awesome. We're gonna not bring. I wish I could bring a couple of the old school, like 1400s or 1500 warriors, so they can be a guest in the show. But we will talk about that, and after that episode, we're gonna see if it'll be another episode. But throughout our journey, we're gonna talk about this, touch base on this, not just one-time party show of mental health and mental wealth, but yeah. So we will see you folks on Wednesday. Again, thank you so very much for joining us today, and please remember, your mind is as big or as tall as the biggest, tallest mountain mass in the world, Mauna Kea. And I know you folks are going to start looking it up to see if I'm telling the truth. But again, we really thank you. Thank you for being a part of our journey, and we hope that we are planting seeds of hope and positivity throughout the world, wherever you may be. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
God
Yeah,
bless.
see you
Aloha.
soon.